that the stream is actually live here, like I think it is. Cool. I'm gonna hop over to talk with Synchrony here. All right. Check, 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 check. Synchrony, you there?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Ooh, I got some sparkly headphones right now. Hi, Doovie. Keep them thereabouts. Well, we're not going to need these for too long anyway, because what we are going to be doing today is we are going to be VOD reviewing 3 different matches that we picked up from the City of Surprise League that we are running right now. So we'll be giving some advice to those players, some fairly new Smash Ultimate players. Should be a good show here. So let me bring it over to those videos without any further ado. All right. And I should still be audible. Synchrony, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to run the video for just a second so that we can check to make sure audio levels are good.
Yeah, sure.
All right, it's playing now.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So looks like there are actually 2 matches here. We're just going to watch the first one. Reason being, we want to make sure that we have time to get to all of the other ones here. We have 5 different players. And so what I'm going to be doing is watching a match for each player. We'll see Link a little bit more later on, so I'm going to focus for this VOD review primarily on the Hunt. And that question answered. Yeah, there you go. So the Hunt is playing Wii Fit Trainer and also plays Richter. So it seems like they have something of a sense of what those characters do, because they're pretty similar. These are zoning style characters. These are characters who are all about staying on one side of the map and keeping their opponent from getting to them by throwing things at them, by hitting them and then running away, that kind of game plan. Wii Fit Trainer in particular wants to be able to stay away long enough that they can do their deep breathing, which I believe heals them by 1, but more importantly gives them significantly increased attack power, I believe, and speed. It's a pretty important buff to have. Alright, so here we go. And starting things off, the Sephiroth player here is swinging really, really far with that very comically large anime sword. And so it catches the Hunt off by a little bit here. Oh, they missed the deep breathing button input. There is a timing check, basically. You have to press the button when the ring gets down to the circle. Otherwise, you could miss it and not get that buff. So there is a little bit of a skill check there, and that's something that you can literally just practice as much as you want in the training mode. All right. So something I want to point out about recovery here is that when you get knocked off the stage, your goal should always be to make it as hard as possible for your opponent to hit you back off. If you're falling down from the sky and the opponent is shown that they're swinging with that big sword move, you should probably anticipate they're going to try and hit you with that. You should probably guess, okay, this is probably what they're about to go for. So what you could do is maybe act like you're about to fall down here, and then at the last second move and land on this platform, or at the last second move over to the left and land on the ledge instead. You can be a little bit tricky with it. There, that was really good. I love landing on the top platform there, because before you didn't, this time you did, and you were actually able to hit them by dropping through pretty quickly. Now here, I think you might have misjudged which direction he was going to be in, because you do an attack, you just do it in the opposite direction. Good dodge. You know exactly what that move does. You're going to get out of the way. I like it. Good punish on Sephiroth's part to hit you with the up smash there.
Yeah, that Sephiroth projectile was a menace.
Yeah. Gotcha. When Sephiroth is standing underneath you, in general, you know, you've seen him do a lot of these up smash attacks, the big sword swing up over his head. You should probably predict that they're probably going to go for that if you give it to them. So, if you're about to land on them, maybe you go, okay, he's about to do this attack because I've seen him do it like 5 times already, so I'm going to air dodge through it, or I'm going to do an attack before he can do it, or, you know, something. He's getting a lot of mileage out of these smash attacks here. Dramatic walk over to the left side to get his head buried in the platform because he's tall. I like using the deep breathing there. That's great. You took advantage of the opportunity your opponent gave you by just sitting there and not pressuring you. That's really good. Now what you want to be doing is getting yourself to a position where you can do something. Because from right here, you have no move that can hit Sephiroth. All Sephiroth has to do is like a short hop, a really short jump, and they can hit you over that platform. So, especially since you've just dropped down, and that means you have a little bit of invulnerability before you are able to be hit again, you want to be taking some time to get a good position. Maybe drop down to the side and shoot a projectile at him or something so that you can make your way back to center stage. Because from here, he has a lot of control. Like, these jumps are great because you're dodging his attacks, but eventually he's going to get a read on that and he's going to come in and hit you. You want to maybe move over to the side so that his attacks miss. You want to maybe dodge through one of them and try and get down to the ground. Until you're in a position where you can hit him, he can just swing at you over and over again and he doesn't have to worry. Nice. Get a couple of hits there. And then you run over. You're trying to get that projectile wall set up. You're trying to shoot things at him, and that's great. The only trouble is that he closed distance too quickly. So you might need to get down on the ground and then hit him with an attack before you can start, you know, heading soccer balls at him. Ooh. He's going to do that attack again. Good job drifting to the side. That's exactly what I've been looking for you to do. Get over to the side of him so that when he swings and misses, that gives you time to land, and now you can do something from the ground that can threaten him. So that's exactly the way that I want to see you responding to those, like, up smashes over and over again. Okay, so he's got that projectile. He's just going to throw it, and you're going to jump over it. In that situation, he threw it close enough to him. You probably didn't need to jump. And the reason that I'm saying it might have been good not to jump is that now you're stuck up on this top platform again. And when you've been on the top platform, we remember from earlier the problems that you were having getting down. And there it is, that up smash again. I'm surprised he let you down there. He probably could have just up smashed again, but now you're down on the ground. Let's see what you can do with it. So you headed the soccer ball at him. Back up just a second longer. So there's that. You land. He hits you. You land again, and he just walks away instead of doing an attack. From there, if you had maybe done a dash attack, if you had dashed at him and then pressed A, that might have reached far enough to hit him. There, that's just missing the aerial, so if you're going to go for that attack, just it might be good to maybe practice it a little bit to see, you know, where you can hit with it. Because once it misses, he's able to knock you off the stage. I like that a lot. He commits really hard to this attack, and so you're able to just get behind him and knock him off the stage, and now that's a reversal. Now you've got him off. Now let's see what you try to do to keep him off. I like that idea. Head the soccer ball at him. Unfortunately, on this stage, this platform is going to get in the way of that, so you're actually going to bounce it off the platform and miss him. But if you were on a stage that didn't have that platform, that would have gone right at about the right angle to hit him. So you've got the right idea here. I like it. Ooh, stuck up in the air again. Good job jumping away from that. You're a little lucky that he didn't hit you there, but good job recovering, hitting him off, and good edge guard too. Awesome job. Once you had him off stage, you did everything you needed to. Remember that when someone respawns, they're going to be invincible. You can't hit them for a couple seconds afterward. So when you tried to come down on him with that attack in the air, he just up smashed you because he couldn't be hit. He's going to up smash again. And he's going to get the aerial as well. So again, drift over to the right or left like you did that one time before, and that's going to give you your best option to get away from that. Good zoning, good spacing here. Unfortunately, with that jump, you did kind of give up the space that you had gotten on him. Because right now, he's kind of slow. He's got a really, really big, long sword he's got to bring around. And you're right up in his face, just kind of batting at him. So this is a position you kind of want to keep. You don't want to jump, because from here, up in the air, he's able to get his footing. He's able to do something again. It looks like you used an aerial there, so maybe you were trying to hit him, and if that's the case, then that's a good idea. You're just, missing the attack, and you'll get that the next time, If something is a good idea, keep trying it, because eventually you'll hit the execution on it, Don't look at it something missing and go, oh, that doesn't work. This would have been a good idea. It's just a matter of getting the execution down, and then it'll start working for you. Ooh. Okay. A little bit scared there, but you're able to get your deep breathing and not get hit by him too much. Knock him off the stage, hit him with a projectile. This is a good game plan so far. Once you see that that projectile is going to miss, what you could do instead is run at him and try to do an attack. And that would maintain the advantage that you have. Yeah, jumping up there on that top platform has not been working out for you so far this game. You just don't want to get caught there. Good job. And there you did the thing that I've been asking you to do, which is move left or right and get out of the range of one of his attacks. I think you meant to maybe double jump there and you didn't mean to land before you did the deep breathing. Once you have the ground there and he lands in front of you, you kind of need to react pretty quick before he does something. So he drops down right here, and at this point he's running at you. You need to do something other than, stand there and charge an attack, because he's about to go for something right here. That's not even an especially fast attack that he used, so anything like a dash attack or a jab or a faster option would have been able to hit him before he could do that to you. So if an opponent is rushing you, just bear in mind, like, I need to have a plan. I need to have some fast thing that I can do to be able to beat that. All right. So that's going to be our VOD review for the hunt there. And I'm trying to keep things nice and quick because we have 2 more to get to, and we have about an hour to do them. So our next one, I'm going to be looking at 2 different players here. I'm going to be looking at, this one is between Kazuya, I believe, and Bone Crusher. Yeah, Kazuya is Link. Link is his tag. Okay, that was a little confusing at first because Link is another character in this game. But yeah.
I believe Link is also the Sephiroth from the last game.
Yes. So we'll talk a little bit more about Link in this game because... this is that last one was the only match that we had the hunt in, but this one we're going to be talking about 2 different players at the same time. So, here we go. Looks like this starts off already in progress. We've already got some damage on both players. So, Samus starts off by shooting a projectile out there. This is a really advanced movement option for Kazuya, so it might take a little bit of practice. But when Kazuya does what's called a crouch dash, he actually has some invincibility, and I wonder if he could move through Samus's projectile using that. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about really quick on screen here. So right now, whoopsie daisies, let's reset that. So I'm playing Kazuya right now, and normally if you dash, you press left or right on the joystick, he'll run like this. But if you dash and then do what's called a quarter circle input, this is something from Tekken, which is the game that Kazuya comes from. So if you dash left and then immediately move the joystick down, and then down left or down right, depending on which direction you're facing. So in this case, it would be down left. So dash down, down left. Dash down, down left. If I do this right, you see how he's kind of getting down into a crouch? So that time I missed it, but that right there. While he's kind of getting into a ball there, once he's kind of like ducking down, he actually has a little bit of invincibility. The top half of his body above his belt cannot be hit at that point. So I'm wondering if maybe Samus's missile actually goes too high to hit him. It's going to be close for sure, but that's something to be thinking about. That's something to be kind of experimenting with a little bit. Turn on invincibility. Yeah, I guess I can show it, can't I? And of course, then I proceed to miss the input. There it is. See how I flashed blue there for a second? That little blue flash means that whatever hits that zone on the character will not do any damage. So what you can do is use this little crouch dash to close distance and then do an attack while you yourself cannot be hit. So that's something to mess around with. I would definitely, if I'm going to practice that, I went to the pause menu and I went to invincibility. So this might be under more options. So see other settings, invincibility, and I set it to display. And then whenever you do it right, which I'm having trouble with, of course, because I was not a Tekken player. Once you do it right, it'll show you that. And that would be a really neat thing to start trying to do to get yourself in on your opponent. It's also very safe. So I am going to hop back over to our gameplay now. So right there, for example, would have been an opportunity to get in on Samus with invincibility. Banky makes a good point. You could also slow down the game if you're having trouble with the input. I personally, when I'm practicing an input, usually don't like to slow the game down because then the timing will be different. But for something that's really complicated, it might be good to kind of start slow and then speed up. I like that you're chasing the character up onto the top platform here. Unfortunately, when this character gets knocked down and gets up, they'll have a little bit of invincibility. So you swung at them when they had that invincibility, they were able to get you off them. Oh, there's an echo. Whoops. I can fix that.
Uh-oh.
Okay, echo should be fixed now. My bad. So, yeah, like I said, when this character gets knocked down, you have to watch out for what they do when they get up, because a lot of those options, when they stand up, give them invincibility for a second. And that's what enables them to hit you here. Okay. So Bone Crusher with a good dash attack here. And I like that they're running away and they're just going to shoot stuff at you. Now, usually this isn't the option that people are going to use when they run away and shoot things. Usually they're going to fire missiles because those do more damage. But it is an interesting idea to use this one since it's faster. It's just not going to stun them for as long or do as much damage when it hits. So a lot of the time what they might do is just jump over it and come at you. So I want to see Link jumping over those and maybe trying to come in with an aerial. And I want to see Bone Crusher using missiles. Experimenting with using those in addition to the charge shot. Oops. Well, we'll jump ahead a little bit because it's skipped back. Okay. So here are those charge shots again. That move that Link is using to try and dash towards Samus, it keeps getting interrupted by this. So once you see that that move isn't working, I would switch tactics, change the decision that you're making. One thing I do like about Link's play is that he understands that being on a platform above him is when his opponent is at a disadvantage. There are very few moves that Samus could do that would come even close to hitting Kazuya right now. And so being here, this is where you want to start, swinging at him with these moves. One option that it would be really interesting to see Link try using right now, he's got his Rage, which happens at 100% for this character. So that's an added boost to the moves that he's going to hit the other character with. He's also got an option on his down and B, so his down special, which is basically a command grab. That means he's going to grab you without having to press the grab button. That's just part of what the move does. And at this percent, I want to say it would probably KO the Samus if you hit it on him. So you've jumped and hit him with this up air, this upward kick a couple of times. Maybe on the next time, instead of doing that upward kick, you try and use this down B move that might KO your opponent. It would be a nice way to make them think you're about to do the kick again and then surprise them with something else. Good recovery there, and I like how you're respecting that this Samus has a charge shot, so you're not going to go in on it. Samus steps up and you drop down, and nice. Now, if Bone Crusher reacts a little bit faster to that, I think that you can definitely, hit them with the charge shot before you can close all that distance. But Link clearly has the right idea here. I don't want to be on the same level as the charge shot can hit me at, and I want to close distance before the charge shot can come out. Up B also kills at that percent if timed properly. Yes. One of the important defensive options that you have as Kazuya is if someone's trying to attack you and just getting on top of you and being really annoying, if you press up B, it's a fairly fast move, and you can also do that move while you're shielding, and if you're right on top of them, that will also do a lot of damage and potentially KO. Ooh, the forward smash doesn't quite go the right way, but right idea there. There's that Superman from Injustice laser. Good job. I love how you, number one, used the missile, and number two, followed up out of it. You probably could have done a stronger option than the forward tilt. I think you might have been able to get a forward smash off, but even so, you did a good job getting him off you. It seems like right there, Bone Crusher hesitates a little bit, doesn't really know what he wants to do once Kazuya gets on top of him again. Having a game plan, kind of thinking, okay, if somebody's near me, what move do I do? Will help with that by a lot. Having a plan is the way that you react faster. That recovery is a little bit dangerous because it puts you on the ledge. What you might want to do instead of up B'ing and then landing right here is drop further and then up B to the ledge. That way, it's harder for Kazuya to just hit you as soon as you land. Ooh, and side B instead of up B, that's a mistake all of us make sometimes. Unfortunate, he's going to fall and lose the stock there. Looks like the side B went in the wrong direction, so Kazuya able to do some damage here. Nice 29%. Oh no, and the up B doesn't come in quite fast enough there. That's unfortunate. Everybody SDs, you know. Even the best players in the world do it sometimes, so don't feel too bad about it. Just think about your recovery, have a plan. That was a good edge guard right there. I like that you're using the projectile. Link could have done the same thing that I told you to do on the left-hand side. Link could have dropped down and then recovered up to the ledge instead of coming straight at the ledge, and that would have prevented that from hitting. Someone in chat is saying, one thing I notice a lot is that there's some panic when getting hit from the Samus, and that's how SDs are occurring so often. I definitely agree. The very first tip that I ever give to someone when they get knocked off the stage is don't panic. Don't press all the buttons. Have a plan. When you have the plan, once you know what you're going to do, you're going to double jump and then you're going to up B. You just know every single time, oh, I'm off the stage, I'm going to double jump and up B. And you don't press all these other buttons. You're able to snap yourself out of, oh, shoot, I'm off the stage. Ah, what do I do? Ah. Don't panic. Double jump, press up B.
Yeah, it's a great point. I actually, I think after this set, I actually took Bone Crusher's side and we worked on recovery for a bit. So,
awesome.
Hopefully next time we'll see some improvement when we look at VODs.
Definitely. That'll give us a lot more of a match to watch because the first stock really super close. Like it looked like that could have gone either way. But then after those self-destructs, we weren't really able to see too much more of what Link or Bone Crusher can do here. So yeah, that would be something that would be good to see in future matches. Right now, unfortunately, we are going to have to move on for the sake of time. So the last match here that we're going to be watching is going to be Ultimate Gamer versus Zach. So we'll pull that one up on screen here. Oh, hey, that was nice. It actually snapped to it. I wasn't expecting the window to fix itself like that, but that's super nice. And RarXD adds, if you're ever attempting to hit someone off the ledge from off stage, I assume we're talking about Kazuya? Might be as Samus, okay. Yeah, you're right. And so you have the chance of recovering was the point of that. Right. So as Samus, if you use your neutral air, so that's your nair, that's just pressing A without pressing a direction, then you'll stop that move sooner than if you stop doing the forward air, the forward and A attack. That's that pew, 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 pew attack where she shoots fire out of her gun. And if you do that move, then you're going to be able to press up B and get back in time. If you do the forward air, it's going to take too long and you might not be able to make it back. All right. So we're starting off here with Ultimate Gamer, who is the Game & Watch, and Zach, who is the Bowser Jr. So we're starting a little bit in progress already, as we've seen before, but pretty early on in the match. So Game & Watch, one unique thing about his character, relatively unique, some characters have this, is he can up B, but then after he up Bs, he's not stuck just like falling down without being able to do anything. He can actually do attacks on the way down. The breakfast attack, the neutral B here, probably isn't the first one I would think to do because these attacks don't always do enough damage to stop someone from hitting you. But that is a good idea to up B and then on the way down to cover yourself, protect yourself by doing another attack. He stands here throwing the breakfast out for a pretty long time, and at this point his opponent has already gotten around it. So we'll see. These first couple of them hit, but right now, oh, his opponent is up and over the top. This attack is never going to hit him, and so right now Ultimate Gamer needs to be stopping this attack so that he can respond to his opponent getting behind him. The up B is an interesting decision there. I know that Synchrony talked a lot about that attack with Zach here. Zach was just saying, well, I like this move. Here are some possible issues that might come up if you only use this move. For one thing, it puts you way up in the air. A couple of VOD reviews ago, you know, when we were talking about the Sephiroth player, we were talking about how if you're stuck up on like the top platform, that's a place where your opponent can hit you for free because you can't hit down through the platform with very many moves. So it puts you in a position way up high, which is usually a disadvantage in this game. So that's one problem with it. Another problem is that if you get hit before you touch the ground, well, now you don't have your up B anymore. Now you don't have the same options to make it back. So if the Game & Watch were to jump up and maybe use an aerial attack and knock you off stage, you might just get KO'd right there and then from that up B. There it is again. Another thing to be concerned about is that a strong player will recognize, oh, hey, he's up B'ing a lot. And as soon as they see it, they'll be looking for it. They'll position right underneath you and try to hit you on the way down. Now, one thing I would say to Ultimate Gamer is if they're coming down on top of you, the moves that you're choosing to hit them, it's going to be really difficult to land those. You might want to be looking for an attack where you're pressing up on the joystick, so maybe like an up A or an up B or something like that. So that way you're aiming that move at your opponent instead of aiming it off to the side or something like that. There are a bunch of other options you could use, but for now I would just say focus on picking a move that's going to hit in the direction that your opponent is at. For example, in that situation, you were aiming away from the opponent, and so this move isn't going to hit. What you want to be doing is finding moves that will aim you toward the opponent. I like the idea to put the chair out. It just so happens that the move that Bowser Jr. chooses here has what's called armor. That is, if you get hit, it'll do damage still, but you'll be able to move through that attack. I really like that option from Bowser Jr. You're in a position where you need to get back into center stage and they're in your way. You don't want to jump up above them because that puts you at a disadvantage. So you shoot a projectile, and that projectile is going to occupy the space that you want to be able to move into. And now you can move into it, just like you do there. I like the whole movement under here. I like that you were kind of jumping up underneath him. You're kind of threatening to hit him from underneath the platform or he can't hit you back, but then you up B again. And that puts you out of that really nice position and also misses. Okay, I take that back. It doesn't miss, but it didn't have to hit. The Game & Watch here just jumps into it. So Ultimate Gamer, when you see that clown car down there, it's about to explode. So you need to watch out and make sure you don't jump into it. I like how safe Zach is being right now. He's keeping up on top, waiting for Ultimate Gamer to do something so that he knows it's safe to drop down again. Interesting. Okay. So he drops down, and I couldn't quite tell if he either shielded that so it didn't blow up in his own face, or he just threw it right at Mr. Game & Watch. Ultimate Gamer, you probably could have done a move that would hit him away from you and prevented that from happening. Basically, whenever someone gets close enough to you, you should have a plan for what's the fastest thing that I can do that will hit them to get them off me. I think he can make it back from that. Yep. Something that you, Ultimate Gamer, can be doing while you're watching him recover is put yourself maybe down here and threaten to try and hit him again. If you get him off the side of the stage like this, if you hit him again, he doesn't have a double jump anymore. Now if you hit him, he doesn't have an up B anymore. And so all it takes is a fairly light hit to send him far enough away that he can't possibly get back to the stage. So if you position yourself right here, all you have to do is run off the stage and hit him with something. But since you stay up here and don't attack him, he's able to just get back to the ledge basically for free. Good combo there. You hit him and then see that he's not ready to respond to the clown car. You stop yourself. Using the clown car there, you might be thinking, oh, the clown car goes really fast. So if I want to get to the center of the stage really fast, I should use that. The problem is when you stop the clown car, he does that kind of spin out before he can do anything. So it would actually have been faster for you to just run to the middle and then do something. All right, you're able to get into an attack. Now from there, you see that your opponent is jumping at you. You see your opponent jumped, right? So if you shoot this cannonball, it's going to go straight ahead, but then they're going to come down on top of you. And so as soon as you see them jump, you probably want to not charge that attack anymore. And you want to be moving and trying to respond to get something else done. Can't you jump out of Clown Cart? That is possible. I'm not super familiar with the character. I could test it in just a minute, but we'll keep watching for the time being. So let's see what just happened. So again, we're firing the cannonball, but we need to remember to face ourselves in the right direction before we do it. And again, this is a situation where Ultimate Gamer could have run to the ledge and done an attack to stop Zach from getting closer to the ledge, but he stands in center stage instead. Okay, I like this a lot better. You need to be a little bit closer to the ledge to be able to hit with that, and that's probably not the best attack to reach over, but now you've got the right idea. Instead of letting them get into center stage, run up to them and try and hit them back off again. Up B has them jump out of the car. That's another just move-specific thing. You know, if you haven't seen this before, that might surprise you, but that cannonball, you can hit it and it will still keep going, just like you saw there. So that's something to watch out for whenever that attack comes out. Tries to bomb him with the up B. Now, we were talking about some of the concerns with using that up B like that. One issue here is that that clown car is going to hit the platform. It's not going to fall all the way down to the platform that Game & Watch is on. So that's going to miss, and then when you fall down, Ultimate Gamer, if you chase him well enough, you could just like catch him right here as he lands and hit him with something really strong. Like you could probably land right here and just hit him with a smash attack and KO him right then and there. So we've seen him do this clown car a couple of times. What I would say is, Ultimate Gamer, if you see him starting that attack up, you need to be ready to maybe jump or shield or have a plan. You know, always be thinking, if my opponent rushes me, what am I about to do? Good aerial attack on the way down. Something we've talked about with Game & Watch, but we can also talk about with Bowser Jr., is that when he does his up B, he is able to do attacks in the air as he falls on his way down. So that might just be something that you didn't know about, or maybe it's something that you weren't looking for, but that's how he's going to get... Is this a stock? This is a stock. Nice. Able to catch him landing without protecting himself. Now remember, we talked about this earlier on. When a player respawns, you're not going to be able to hit him for a couple of seconds. So instead of trying to attack him with the chair like you did there, you need to be maybe running away. And that's another situation where I think you're not aiming the move that's going to hit the character. You're not aiming above you. You're aiming to the side, and so that's going to miss. Okay, you catch him in this rapid jab. Ooh. So that's another thing about Bowser Jr., maybe a move knowledge thing. Once he throws that little wind-up Koopa out there, it's going to keep walking around down there, and so it kind of walked into you from off-screen. Interesting. I want to see what he does out of the jump here. So, in that situation, if Ultimate Gamer throws out an attack that goes up above him, like pressing A in the air without pressing a direction, the neutral air would cover a lot of this space. Bowser Jr. gets hit here before he can do any attacks. So I would like to see the Game & Watch using a move like that hits above him a little better, or right on top of him. Because again, a lot of these moves, he's aiming them in directions that Bowser Jr. isn't. An upward attack right there might have hit him, or a jump attack, but he stays on the ground, and so Bowser Jr. is able to just move around him. Yeah, in that position, if he's just standing there doing the rapid jab, there are a lot of different things that you could do. You could try and shoot that projectile like you did, although you missed. You could go in with an aerial attack from above, like you used the down A attack earlier. That would have worked. So you've got some options in that position. Just standing and pressing A over and over again, your opponent is going to see, okay, this is the only area that they're controlling, this part that's right in front of them. So if I do, if I jump over the top of them, if I get behind them, I'm going to be able to hit that person. So I would say if you're missing with that rapid jab, with that A over and over again, don't just keep doing it unless you really think they're going to jump into you. Ooh. That move is very, what we call telegraphed. When Bowser Jr. starts charging up, you see how he's already got the gun out, you see how he's already charging. You can look at this and say, oh, he's about to do this attack. And you should know that if you get too close to him and you stay in his range, he's going to release that and hit you with it. So just walking forward, at least be ready to shield or something. You're not going to be able to hit him before he releases that and can hit you. I like that dash attack, and I like how you stayed down here instead of getting hit by the up B or something. Ooh, and there's the up B again. So, something I would say to anyone who's playing against Zack is if you realize he likes this up B move, don't stay underneath him. Or like maybe jump on top of him or underneath him. Stay off to the side so that when he drops that down, you can hit him from the side instead of trying to hit him from below. And that would be a way that you could beat that. Or you could wait for him to use it and then catch him as he's falling down on top of you and try and get him off stage like we talked about could happen earlier. I specifically am trying to tell people to do this to Zack because when you get to a higher level of play, people are going to be good enough that they're going to start punishing you. They're going to start doing damage to you for making that mistake of overusing the up B. And I want people to start doing this to Zack so that he doesn't maintain the bad habit of over-relying on one move. So let's talk a little bit about... I want to go into the training room and talk about a few things with these different characters here. Okay, yeah, I had to make sure audio was still on. So we saw Link playing a lot of Kazuya. So we talked about that crouch dash. That's an option. This is what the down B looks like. And you can see how high that sends the opponent. So if I do a little bit of damage to him, this character does a lot of damage very quickly. when I do this, you can see these green and yellow lines where it says Battlefield Final Destination? Now you can just see this green line here. Olimar went up and over those lines, which means that he would have been KO'd on Battlefield or Final Destination. So that move is really, really strong. It's going to KO really early on. So that's something to look for whenever your opponent gives you the opportunity. Just pressing the A button is going to do a pretty good amount of damage if they keep letting you do it. So I just did... Let's see how much this ends up being if they just take the whole thing. 45 damage. Now, there are ways that you can get out of that. You don't have to take the entire 45 all at once. But if someone does stay in and just keep getting hit by this, I say just keep going for it. Is there a way to resend the link? Really want to join the tournament, but just found out that the link expired. Synchrony, would you mind looking at that in the Twitch chat right now? Something that we were seeing Link do a lot of, which I liked, was he was doing this kick. This is a really good... It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does a lot of poke. If somebody's falling down on top of you and you want to keep them stuck up in the air, you can kind of just keep doing this. It's called juggling. You're juggling them in the air. So that's an option. So this right here is what the down B looks like in the air. So if I throw them upwards... Oh! If I throw them upwards, I shoot them with lasers. Whoops. So that'll do a lot of damage there too. And then finally, I wanted to show the up B out of shield. So if I'm shielding and I press up B, I'll still do my attack. And that move is really powerful. It's definitely an option that you can use to KO them. So I'm going to move Olimar closer to the center here and then do my up B out of shield. That knocked them up over the top of the blast zone, so that would have KO'd them on Battlefield or Final Destination at that percent. Let's take a look at a couple of other characters here. So one character we saw was Bowser Jr. So we'll talk about this for Zach's sake. So we saw a lot of Clown Car. We saw a lot of firing this move. Remember that this is your neutral B. You do this by not pressing a direction and then pressing B. So it is possible for you to face the wrong direction while you're doing this. You want to make sure that before you ever do this, you tap in the other direction. You turn yourself around. So you can dash in one direction, or you can just really lightly press it. And if you really lightly press it, he'll just turn instead of running in that direction. And that might be something you need. So if you tap it, and then you press it after you've tapped it, then you'll make sure that you're firing it in the right direction. So let's talk a little bit about some other things that you can do as this character instead of trying to hit them with the up B. So first of all, hitting them with the up B is something you should only go for if there's not a platform in between you and the other character. So if we're over here on Battlefield and you use that, you're not going to hit them with anything. So instead, what you might do is drop down and use this attack. This is called forward air. It's forward and A in the air. And this move is really hard to get in on, because it hits a little bit below you. It's out there for a while. If you just kind of do this and slowly get closer to someone, that's a lot harder for them to stop than if you jump up here and then you can only swing the hammer on the way down. So if I do this, I'm going to hold all the way to the right. I don't move that far, even if I'm holding all the way to the right. So if somebody were to chase me while I'm doing this, as long as I don't hit them with it. They could probably catch me on the way down, and that hammer is all I've really got. The hammer doesn't go as far range as this move does. If you're facing the wrong direction to do forward air, if that's going to miss, you could do back air. And that move will hit behind you. And I believe... Okay, that's not really a strong KO. Oh, no, it is definitely a strong KO option. I just got the weak hit. So if you time it right, this move will do a lot of damage and send them pretty far. So if I want to jump at someone, I can maybe get forward air, and then if they land close enough to me, I poke them with the fork or hit them with the drills. Poke. 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 Hee hee hee. Poke. That's really fun. So you did this move, and this move isn't very long range, but if you're coming down on top of someone, it might be a way to get them off you, and it does a decent amount of damage, I think. So I would definitely experiment with some other things that you can do in the air besides just this, because that's going to miss sometimes, and when it misses, you might be in trouble. Alright, let's look at a couple of other characters that we've seen. Down air isn't bad to land with. Up air juggles for days. Ah, yes, so remember we talked about juggling, that upward attack in the air that Kazuya was doing? You can do it with Bowser Jr.'s up air as well. All right. Let's see. Who else did we have? We had a Samus. Let's talk about Samus. All right. So Samus is a character who wants to be able to stand on the other side of the stage and shoot things. She does have some options for getting close to you, but she's a very big target. You can see how tall she is and how far she reaches for some of her attacks. So it can be kind of easy to hit her sometimes. So you would want to maybe, if somebody is like cornering you, you maybe like use a quick attack to get them off you, but then you want to be shooting stuff after that. So even if you're playing really aggressively, you kind of still want to be shooting stuff. So let's talk about if they close the distance. What can I do? Well, you can do this. This forward tilt reaches really, really far. You can, if they get too close, you can press down and then A, and that'll pop them up in the air. If they get on top of you and you have to shield before they hit you, you can press up and B, and this is one of the faster options to get someone off you in the entire game. It's very, very fast. And you can also just do something like a jab, or you could run away, or you could fire that out really quickly. And that might do enough knockback to get them off you. Let's reset a little bit. But if you do only do this like you were doing before, that's only doing about 6 damage, and it's also not sending them far enough that if you do this from too close up, they can't just run at you and attack you. Because I'm going to hold down shield after I do this attack to show you how long it takes for that attack to end. Once the shield comes up, the attack is done. See how long it takes before that shield comes back up? So you can probably take this hit and still run in and hit me if you're close enough to me. So you don't want to be doing this up close. You might want to maybe jab, you might want to run away and then do it. So those are some things to think about there. If you think Samus is broken, you should see Game & Watch. Let's talk about Game & Watch, because I think it will be especially helpful for our Game & Watch player, our ultimate gamer, to see what some of Game & Watch's ultimate options are. Alrighty, so one thing that I noticed that Game & Watch was having some trouble with is the situation where someone's above him. This is actually a situation Game & Watch is really good in. He can do this attack, up and A in the air, to spit air at them, and this will hit them from really far away. You can see that that's doing damage from well below where Hero is possibly going to hit me. He could also do his A attack in the air without pressing a direction, and that'll make this fishbowl come out, and if you do that right on top of them and it gets all of the hits, that's a pain in the butt to do something about. You can also, so you've got this option, you've got this option. If they're a little bit further forward, or you want to be attacking them from above, you could throw out the forward air. And I'm not timing this very well. So that bomb is really interesting because it'll just kind of drop for a pretty long way before it explodes. So that's a really good one. And the kicker is that you can do all of this after you've up B'd. So you could up B and then down air to fall down on top of them. You could up B into throwing a bomb. You could up B and then decide to fall with the neutral air. You could up B and then up air if they're really far up. I don't think they would ever be that far up. But it's something that you're capable of doing anyway. Oh, that was a 9. So those are some options that you can use if somebody's up above you and you want to stop them. Now let's say you don't have time to get up in the air and they're about to fall on top of you. You can press up and A to do that attack, which is a strong KO option. You can also do what's called an up tilt, which it doesn't reach very high, but it is an option you've got. But what I would be going for is just, if someone's up on top of me and I'm trying to hit them before they hit me, I'm going to throw out maybe the fishbowl, I'm going to throw out maybe the puff of air, and just kind of keep them up there. And that's something that Game & Watch is really good at doing. One last tricky thing here is Game & Watch's down and A down smash is a really good move. Because it can it still ground? Okay. Once you get past a certain percentage, it will stick them in the ground like that. I think it's a percentage thing. Right, because right now he's not getting grounded. Do I have to space it a certain way? Oh, okay. So if you hit with the very outside edge of this move, so right about, oops. Right about here, then it will stick them in the ground. And then you can do another smash attack. So if you space this right, you get to hit them with 2 smash attacks instead of 1, and that'll do a lot of damage. That right there is a combo that Banky just suggested in chat. So this is, I'm grabbing them with the, in my case, it's the R button for whatever your grab button is. And then I'm pressing down. So this is called a down throw. And if you do that, you can just jump and hit them with a nair right away. A neutral air. So those are a bunch of different things that Game & Watch is capable of to try out. All right, and then Sephiroth, I believe, was the last character that we haven't talked about. So, we've already seen that you really like Sephiroth's up smash. And honestly, I respect it. That's a good move. Another idea is instead of pressing forward and A to get the forward smash like this, which you do a lot, just hold the direction and then press A, and you get this faster attack that still goes out very, very far. This is so annoying to try and deal with, and you can even angle it if you're really, really careful on the control sticks. You can hit more downwards or more upwards. So this is a really good move for hitting someone before they're able to get in on you and hit you. Because as Sephiroth, you've got this really long sword, which is cool, but part of the problem with it is that it's very slow, unlike you will see in Advent Children. And so, because it's so slow, you need to kind of be hitting someone before they're able to move in and hit you, because their move will come out faster if you're standing right next to someone and you try and hit them. So you need to be hitting them from outside of their range. So instead of letting the Lucario get this close to you before you hit them, you want to be hitting them from way out here before they can get on top of you. So I definitely like how you're kind of when you're playing against the Kazuya. I'm gonna try and knock him over to this side. Perfect. What you're doing is you're keeping center stage here, and this is a really good idea because from here, if they're on the platform, you can hit them with that or with that. If they're on the top platform, you can short hop and hit them with, or full hop and hit them with this. Or you can run under the platform and hit them like this. You have all of these different options to hit them while they can't hit you. And that's really the name of the game. If you can hit them while they can't hit you, you're going to win in a game of Smash Bros. But let's say that they do actually get on top of you when you get stuck here. Now you're in a little bit more trouble. And this is the situation that you want to prevent. Because if you're right here, the fastest move you've got is maybe like this jab that's not going to hit from very far away. You might be able to, you know, do the neutral A attack, which is this, to get them off you in the air, and that's fairly quick. But none of Sephiroth's options are very fast. So if you stay in the middle, you keep all of this ability to hit someone before they hit you, and you don't get stuck where they can close the distance and you can't run away anymore. So like if someone on the right platform right here were to run at me, I could kind of run away and hit them as I run away. And then I'd be able to move back into center stage and be able to retreat again. So you always want to be keeping them at like the point of your sword and never letting them get right on top of your character. Alrighty. That's all we are going to have time for the VOD reviews today. I hope that you guys found something valuable to learn from that. And you guys who are watching from City of Surprise will be able to see Coach Simon again on Saturday, I believe it is. And you'll be able to start practicing some of these ideas and potentially learning some new things about your characters. So thank you for watching. For those of you who are tuning in for the Stony Brook Smash tournament, that will be in, I believe, a half hour, if I'm correct about that. We will be stopping the stream momentarily and bringing that back up for the tournament. So we will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.